Well, I just told our guys in there that one of the things I've really enjoyed doing is coaching these guys. I love the way that they kind of go about their business and have handled themselves. But in that first half, we weren't ourselves. And the only person who's responsible for that is me. I guarantee 100% that I told them that's on me. Don't know what we did a little bit different, but came out. I really liked our offense, just the way they put down the field, kind of executed our plan. Did a lot of really good things, but we didn't have any penalties. We didn't turn the ball over, and we executed on first down very successfully. And the results is you score. And then defensively, we gave up a big play right away that gave them momentum. Then another second pass play, and they went right down the field pretty easily, and our defense was on our heels. And I got to make sure that we understand it's not so much that you make a mistake or there's something that goes wrong. It's how you respond, and we didn't have the right response for that first half, especially defensively. I think they understand that. Unfortunately, had done some really good things until the performance in the first half. I told them really I just didn't recognize some of the things that I saw out there today, to be quite honest. Didn't recognize guys that were being undisciplined, that were getting unforced errors, being very careless and reckless with the football. Didn't protect our quarterback particularly well, and resulted in points that just too much to overcome. So we talked about it at halftime, explained to them what expectation was. I told our coaches to coach the game as though it was just starting all over again, because we'd taken some guys out, some of our starters that didn't play well, that were kind of not responding the right way. I wanted to go in with our guys in the second half full throttle, and I liked their response. Georgia's a good football team, give them a lot of credit. Anytime we started to get it a little bit close, they answered the score, and unfortunately too much in the end to overcome. I think the big thing is for us, we're just paper thin. We gotta do a better job of just continuing to develop our depth and get the right responses. As far as injuries, Andre Tolliver, the X-rays were negative, but he had a pretty significant sore spot there. Whether it's going to be a bruise or a strain, I think he is out obviously for this game, but shouldn't be out anything prolonged. Again, the X-rays were negative. I think that was pretty. I can't remember anybody else injured-wise from the game. So, Corliss Marshall, won't be with us for on the field for a period of about 3 to 4 weeks. It was some things that some choices that he made away from the game that are going to keep him out for a while. And the good news is I had a pretty spirited conversation with him on Monday or Tuesday. Took him out of our program for the week. I met with him on Friday. He's only got one more opportunity to get it right. If he doesn't get it right, probably be one of the saddest stories in my coaching career, because he's got a lot of talent and he's got a great heart. Just make some poor choices, and those things won't be rewarded in our program, I guarantee that. Yeah. The good news is Brooksy's coming along very, very well. I was excited to watch Josh play. I can't say specifically if they went right at him, but obviously it was a first start for him against a very good, efficient run game, and did a lot of really good things. But to start a new Mike was I think a learning experience for us all. Oh yeah. That Braylon had actually been playing really well, played well the week before, and this is a big game for him coming back over to Little Rock, and unfortunately went a little high on the quarterback, and I didn't really get to see the play, and obviously it was the correct call because they reviewed it and took him out of there. It's one of those things. Earlier in the day I was watching K-State and Oklahoma, and same kind of scenario where a guy was sometimes those calls happen. I don't think Braylon went after him or tried to go high or do anything like that, but guy's falling, he's trying to go hard. You're in a full sprint. It's really kind of hard to control yourself, but obviously they felt he launched or targeted it, and you got to pay the piper. Yeah, obviously, Tom, I agree 100%. Stupid. I will not coach that. I will not tolerate that. It's obviously starts with me and the behavior that I expect and set. But yeah, uncharacteristic. Tevin Mitchell until today, until that play, had been really having a special senior year. He had a kid to battle through a little bit, but today had a couple plays in the first half that got away from him. We benched him. I really didn't like the response. There was a play where we were out on the field defensively, and they're on the far bench over there feeling sorry for themselves, and that's just not what's expected. I gave him a little talk at halftime and tried to get him to bounce back, and I thought he did, but obviously that play there was a huge play. And, Demetrius Wilson just absolutely can't be tolerated to have a play away from the game. Yeah. Well, I think, Bo, I think the biggest thing in a game of football, you work very hard, you train, you do all these things, and we've gone a long time without feeling the rewards of doing it. And those things just continue to build, and I just feel like when you're losing, everything goes against you. It seems like every call, every break, every bounce of the ball seems to go against you, and that's just what it is. And it's easy to look around and begin to wonder, but if you just stay focused, if you stay on task, if you stay on target, good things will eventually happen, and I got to get those guys to believe in the faith. Alex Collins? Yeah. Last week, he did not have, I think, a great friend of mine going to the game. What happened last week was not surprising to me at all, but today I really thought he'd had a decent week of practice, done a lot of really good things, but, again, I didn't see the play. I know the result. I didn't see exactly what happened, and quite honest, flipped over to the other headset right away. But he's a very good player that's in a little bit of a rut, and we got to do everything we can to get him out of it or find the next man in. Yeah. It is, It is. Take a lot of pride in the way that we play, and we haven't had one of those calls. We constantly preach about it. If I see one in practice, or right away when I was sitting there before the game and saw that Oklahoma penalty and K-State, I knew I was going to take that clip and show our guys, because it's one of those teaching moments that until you really go through it, it may never actually really happen. And so we'll take that, but unfortunately it cost us a big moment. Well, yeah, they had a couple quick pressures. I know one time early on there was, I believe the first turnover was somebody beat our tackle in real quick with an inside move, and obviously we really took a hard look at our protections. We were doing certain things where we could get BA to step up in the pocket, but some of those outside pressures really had a big-time effect, and that's, I think, two of the strips on BA were outside pressures that eventually came around and got him from behind. No, you're good. I would say, yeah. I mean, obviously, to me, I always used to say this as a defensive coordinator. If the first play comes in a certain way, you know that they can't wait to get off the bus to run it. And that play that they ran on the very first play, to me, they'd probably been practicing that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Couldn't wait to get off the bus and run it today against our defense. And it's something that we got to take a look at and make sure that if we're tipping something off or we're not playing it with the correct technique, it should be a pretty fundamental call. We got a low corner. It should be beating them up. We should have a safety over the top, and it wasn't there. Brandon Allen? Yeah. I think he had a cut on the hand, but he's a tough player. I think that play in the first half when he had to come out, he actually landed on the ball. That was probably what was sore on him more than anything. He wanted to go next play, but obviously we thought probably just take a minute to make sure that shoulder was okay. But he's banged up, but the biggest I think, pain for him is his heart. He cares a lot about this football team. When you're the starting quarterback, you probably take way too much criticism and way too much reward when it comes your way, but I expect him to respond really, really well. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to try to get to 4, and that's this week. It's a 1-0 mentality. The sad part about the part that I try to really believe in is you take every day for what it is. That mentality came more out of when I was on a losing streak as a coordinator than we were on a winning streak. It's just that because it's the feeling of that loss and all that work, and you get no reward out of it except for a loss, then it can kind of compound on you. You got to get them to kind of forget those things. We definitely can't let Georgia beat us twice. It's easy to sit back now and say probably, but I don't think, our guys responded really well. We had a good Tuesday, Wednesday practice. Thursday was for the most part pretty good. I think the part that was disappointing was, that our response in the first half was just so many negative things. It was a bad defensive start for us, and then it carried into our offense, turning the ball over, and then our defense had a poor response, and obviously nothing really went our way. Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost that we have to really look at what we're doing up front. You know, whether we're setting the front a certain way or they definitely had a plan to come downhill at us and creased us a couple times, and they were just leaning forward. And it seemed like they're gaining 3, 4, 6 yards every time, and that can't be tolerated. Yeah, well, you know, I think it was a combination. There was a guy kind of flushing that left A gap. We didn't have great kite on the kick, but I will say this, McFain, unless you're too tall Jones, you're not going to block any of his kicks. I mean, those are getting up in a hurry.